Queria convidar para vir ao palco agora Bruce Lanrui. Bruce Lanrui é chairman da IFSA e presidente da Fire Sprinkler Division da Potter Electric Siren.
Good morning. I'd like to start off by first learning how to use this. So, does anyone help me over there how to use this? And I'd like to ask, who stayed in the hotel here last night? Raise your hand. Each one of you slept with a fireman last night. Did you know that? With a bombiero? He was on the ceiling. It was a fire sprinkler head. He was there all night long, holding that hose, ready to turn it on if the fire broke out. It's the goal of the International Fire Sprinkler Association to make sure that those sprinkler heads are installed by qualified installers, manufactured by qualified manufacturers, and listed and certified as quality products so that those type of sprinkler heads can be installed throughout Brazil, throughout the world. That's what the International Fire Sprinkler Association is all about. Where'd my photo go? So let's talk about the International Fire Sprinkler Association. There was a gentleman by the name of John Beniello, who was a past president of the National Fire Sprinkler Association. And it was John Beniello's idea, his vision, to start an organization that would be global in concept and would reach beyond the United States and North America. So he had a conversation, and he spoke with a fellow by the name of Kevin Fee at Reliable Automatic Sprinkler Company. He spoke more with another fellow by the name of Nick Gross from the Viking Corporation. And those three gentlemen came up and put together, masterminded the idea, the concept of the International Fire Sprinkler Association. The charter members of the IFSA were Central Sprinkler, B.F. Goodrich, Joe, Globe, J.W. Singer and Sons, Tyco, Viking, Omen, Castings, Reliable, and Kitty. Those 10 original companies at an annual dues of $25,000 started the IFSA with a nest egg of about $250,000. That nest egg has now grown to an amount of over $4 million in dues contributed by companies like this to form the International Fire Sprinkler Association. Today, the International Fire Sprinkler Association has 4 companies that have been continuous members of the IFSA since 1999. And those 4 companies are who you see on the board. They've stuck through thick and thin. They've always carried the banner of the IFSA to make sure that it didn't go away, that it was not just a passing thought, but truly an organization that could carry the concept of quality fire sprinkler installations throughout the globe. So, working and continuing to grow that association, other members joined the IFSA. Today's IFSA is structured of those companies from the original with the addition of these companies. And these companies now make up the International Fire Sprinkler Association. So as I said, the International Fire Sprinkler Association was spawned from the NFSA, which was headed by John Beniello. And for every leader, there has to be someone in the wings that makes sure things get done. And that gentleman was Russ Fleming, who was Mr. Beniello's right-hand man, and there were other people assisting Mr. Beniello and Mr. Fleming. Victoria Valentine, who is here, Jim Lake, Ken Isman, and these have been the foot soldiers that have taken the International Fire Sprinkler Association's mantra and has taken the knowledge of the National Fire Sprinkler Association and spread that throughout not only North America, but the globe. The Canadian Automatic Sprinkler Association is another strong ally of the NFSA. Between these two associations, now this is a number that I hope we can see this number rise like this in Brazil. and in South America. Those two organizations represent over 70,000 qualified installers of fire sprinkler systems in those countries. And of course, they do move outside of those regions to do work. But you think about 70,000 trained installers who are installing quality product that is FM approved, UL listed, and that is going into every building facility to protect the property and the lives of those contents. So the National Fire Sprinkler Association had a great relationship with CAFSA. We also had a great relationship with the British Automatic Fire Sprinkler Association. And within the United Kingdom, there is Scotland, and most importantly, recently, Wales, where sprinkler legislation has been passed that all single-family homes in Wales will have fire sprinkler systems. Now, that same type of law has been passed in the United States and is enforced in several states in the United States and in several municipalities. If you go to Chicago, Illinois, there are over 60, no, I take that back, I think it's over 90 now, municipalities, smaller towns like Elk Grove, Arlington Heights, Wheeling, those areas of the greater Chicago area, every home that's built has to have a fire sprinkler system in it. So every inhabitant in those communities sleeps with a fireman every night, knowing that if they need someone there to protect them, that sprinkler head is there. So the concept and the thought of expanding into Europe, again, was John Beniello's and Kevin Fee's, Nick Gross. And the advantage that Nick Gross had is that he is a European. Not by birth, but certainly by choice. And I think it's probably worked out very well for him. He has a beautiful family and a beautiful wife. So in 2002, the European Fire Sprinkler Network was formed. And shortly thereafter, a fellow by the name of Alan Brinson became the managing director of the IFSA. Now, Alan worked for several years spreading the word throughout Europe, and slowly but surely, the IFSN, with funding from the IFSA, and once again, I want you to remember the IFSN exists because the IFSA funded it and put the money and grants behind it. Alan was able to go into France first and actually put a country manager in France. And then he moved into the Netherlands, and a country manager was placed there. And then he moved into Germany, and a country manager was placed there. And throughout the rest of, or a great portion of the Nordic states and Spain, the IFSA has allocated grants to be used as financing to help promote the word of the fire sprinkler industry. So that said, at the end of that time, we, and also I have to throw in the fact that we also have sent money and grants to the British Automatic Association. IFSA was integral in the legislation that happened in Wales, where single-family homes now get fire sprinklers. So, in 2010, it was decided that we need to look in a different direction. Russ Fleming and I discussed this along with Bodo Mueller and our past chairman, which is Nick Gross, and we decided that South America was the next frontier for the IFSA. And the first country to be associated with the IFSA and to receive funding from the IFSA and to put a country manager on the ground was the CBSpk in Brazil. Our next accomplishment came in 2012, and AMRASI was formed in Mexico. So you see that the IFSA has taken a great position, a great stance, and our challenge is to look at what we've accomplished recently. 2014, as was mentioned earlier, the IFSA funded the Fire Sprinkler Americas in Panama. The attendees were close to 1,000 attendees attended that. We see a great turnout here, which we're very happy with. So the IFSA, since 1999, has contributed or given grants in the amount of $3.4 million to see that associations like the ABSPK become successful, to spread the word, to make sure that those installations are done by trained installers, that those installations represent FM approved and UL listed products, that they're not counterfeit products, that they are the original manufactured products, and that the designs that behind those systems that are installed are quality designs. So looking now at the global footprint of the U.S., or of the IFSA rather, and what you see is there's a lot of white area there. There's a lot of area that we haven't touched. And it is our agenda, it is our mission, it is our goal to make sure that the IFSA goes into each region of the world to make sure that people live safe, that products are protected, that property is protected. Thank you very much.